Call the January 23rd White Bear Township Board of Supervisors meeting to order. We have an agenda tonight. We do have a couple of changes to put onto that, three changes. We're going to delete Section 8 of the original draft agenda and reschedule the organizational meeting assignments to the February 6th board meeting. Item 7D on the agenda, I see we have an addition there, Mike, to include an additional activity report.
Yep.
And then we're going to add an item 9.1 and that's regarding the Township Day and approval of a band. Anything else then?
Nope.
All right, I'll ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll move to approve as amended.
And since there's only two of us tonight, I'll second that. Those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item 3, is there a motion to approve payment of bills?
So moved.
I'll second. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And we have the minutes of January 4th, 2017 board meeting. They look good to me. Are there any corrections to make? Or
I saw none, so I'll move to approve the minutes of January 4th, 2017.
I'll second that motion. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motions are approved for January 4th. The consent agenda has 7 items on it. Ed, would you read those, please?
First item is the Board of Audit. Need to call a Board of Audit meeting for Friday, February 24th, 2017 at 11:55 a.m. This will be at the Township Administrative Offices, 1281 Hammond Road. Item number 2, concerning bank depository designation. This is based on staff review and recommendation, designate institutes outlined in the staff memo and adopt resolutions designated persons to handle township bank accounts. Item number 3, Columbus Day. We need to adopt a resolution not recognizing Columbus Day as a holiday. Item 4, Friday after Thanksgiving. We adopt the resolution recognizing the Friday after Thanksgiving is a holiday. Item 5, the I-35E corridor. Adopt the resolution to participate in the I-35E corridor management team for 2017. Item number 6 is the park board appointment. This appoints Steve Reeves to fill an unexpected term on the park board. This is to expire April 30th, 2018. And number 7 is the Anderley Lane drainage. Authorize town engineer to research the matter and report back. With that, I would move to approve these 7 consent agenda items.
And I'll second that motion. I do have one question, though. Tom, regarding the park board appointment, is there still, with this appointment, there's still one vacancy then, right?
That's correct.
All right. Okay, if there's no other questions, motion has been made to approve the consent agenda. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes. Item 6 on the agenda, old business, we have none. Item 7 on the agenda has a number of items. So we'll start, let's see here. We have a public hearing scheduled for 7:10, right?
Correct.
So why don't we go to item 7D on the agenda, and that's a report on the 4th quarter construction report. Mike, that's yours?
All right, in your supplemental packet tonight, the 2006 year-end construction activity report. On the top here, you can see the new housing. There was a total of 14 new housing units in the town in 2016. With just under $3.9 million in valuation compared to last year. 2015, there was 10 new home permits issued, $2.5 million in valuation. If you move down into the next miscellaneous residential, permits. There was a total of 529 permits in 2016, just over $5.9 million in construction evaluation. 2015, there were 842 miscellaneous residential permits issued at $8.9 million in evaluation. The major increase in 2015 was siding and windows due to storm damage, causing a difference there. If you go down to the commercial for 2016, a total of 14 permits, just over $4 million in evaluation. 2015, not much commercial activity, 15 permits, just over $600,000 in evaluation. Leads to a total number of permits, building permits, in 2016 at 562, just under $14 million in evaluation, compared to 2015, 875 permits, just over $12 million in evaluation there. In your packet, we have some charts on building permit totals over the last 10 or so years. They're labeled here by quarters, the numbers per quarter with the totals on the top. Total for the year in the township, 1,398 permits. And on this pie chart, they are sectioned out by quarter and percentages of types of permits by quarter. Over the last year, the town has, through our new website, been making an effort to electronically track some of the calls and concerns we get from residents. These are just a portion of some of the items that we deal with here. In the first quarter, you can see there was inoperable vehicles, some tree issues. Into the second quarter, the different lists of common complaints that the town receives and what percentages they are.
Mike, on those code violations, do you keep a record or tabulate the number of violations?
We do have, yes, I have the totals for each quarter here. Again, it's just, it doesn't address all the calls that we come in. We just have a few set programs to track some of these common issues that we receive. But for the first quarter, we only documented the 7 complaints. The second quarter, there was a total of 20. The third, we were down to 4. And in the fourth quarter, there was 91. So. Oh, then there was just a couple end of the year more statistics. The residential rental properties in the township. This last year was the largest number of rentals that we recorded in township at 178. And this chart here, business licenses in the township. 101 licensed businesses in the township for 2016. And that's all I had, if you had any questions.
Mike, you think the uptick in rentals is just due to the market on housing?
I believe it's, we're pursuing it a little bit more, following up, in administrative staff, sending out the notices to the people that are renting.
That and, it looks like out of 14 new home permits, half of them gotta be up on Pine Hills, don't they? They've been going gangbusters up there.
Yeah, Pine Hill and Hidden Ponds also.
Okay.
Three this year, so.
Yeah, Mike, on the code violations, having the number available for at least a total number of violations, not necessarily, they don't have to be broken down,
Yep, we're,
especially since you have the percentage here, but helps identify the magnitude. We can get our arms around just how big an issue the code violations is.
administrative staff, we are working on expanding and better tracking
Right.
these calls and concerns that we get from the community.
Okay. Any other questions?
Nope.
Thanks, Mike.
Want a motion to receive?
Is there a motion to receive Mike's building inspector report?
So moved.
I'll second that. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, it's now 7:12, so let's go back to item 7A on the agenda, and that's a public hearing. It's regarding ordinance number 35 and amending that.
Ordinance number,
So, is there a motion to waive the reading of the notice?
So moved.
I'll second that. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, Tom, this is yours.
yes. Ordinance number 35 is the town's zoning ordinance, regulates a number of things, including off-street parking of vehicles in residential areas. Town Board and Planning Commission have been looking at section 7-6.2B, again regulating accessory vehicles, campers, boats, snowmobiles, things of that nature, and when they can be parked next to a driveway in a residential property. And after review, it was a recommendation from the Planning Commission to modify a section of that zoning ordinance, which currently allows snowmobile parking between November 1st and March 15th. And with the recommended modification, that would extend that out from November 1st to March 31st, more consistent with the snowmobiling season. So that was just a simple wording modification recommended by the Planning Commission. And that's a modification to 7-6.2B of Ordinance 35.
Okay. Ed, do you have any initial question?
No, so we're just striking December 1st through March 15th to replace it with November 1st to March 31st.
Correct.
All right, is there a motion to open the public hearing for public comment?
So moved.
I'll second that. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Is there anyone here that wishes to speak to this issue? Once, twice? Is there a motion to close the public portion of the hearing?
So moved.
I'll second. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so the action requested then is to approve the amendment as described, and we've seen this draft. Chad, you've gotten a chance to review the legal language from the legal aspect. We're good?
It's acceptable.
Okay.
All right, I'll move based on Planning Commission and staff review and recommendations that we approve the amendment to section 7-6.2B of ordinance number 35 and authorize execution by the town board chair and clerk and authorize staff to publish. This is also stated on page 48 of our pamphlet on the rewording.
All right, I'll second the motion. If there's no further questions, so I'll call the question. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes to approve the ordinance amendment. The next public hearing is scheduled for 7:20. Let's see. Jim, what would be a good item for you to
We can do
talk
7E.
about? 7E? All right, let's go to item 7E on the agenda. And that is regarding the improvement for the southeast area sewer lining.
So, Mr. Chair, members of the board, the township has realized through time that our clay tile pipe down in the southeast part of the township, that's down in the Bel Air, east of Bel Air Avenue and south of South Shore Boulevard, that the clay pipes need to be addressed as their age is causing for further deterioration and correction measures. Through last year, we put together a draft feasibility study of that area. We held informational meetings, 2 of them, for the neighbors and all the affected properties out there. This will be over 500 properties that are part of this process. We then completed the feasibility study and walked through for the public hearing with the assessments. All of the affected properties will be assessed through this project. The town board authorized the preparation of plans and specifications, and that is what we have here tonight. The map shows all of the streets that will be involved. We are looking at just over 29,000 feet of clay pipe in that area that we will be going through for some corrective actions with the pipe, with the manholes, and then lining all of the pipe that is out there. For the most part, all of the work will be done from going down from manhole to manhole and doing the work underground. There will be some activity where we have to dig up at manholes or some pipes that need to be corrected. But that we will be notifying everybody as we go along. Tonight, we have the specifications and plans for all of this activity. We will be placing this out for bids. We will have a bid opening on February 15th at 11 o'clock and bringing those results back to the February 22nd town board. So tonight, what we are asking for is approval of the plans and specifications and authorizing the bidding process.
Jim, is this gonna be more of a summer project, or are they gonna wait till fall?
They can get started right away, as we've seen with some of other lining activity, because you're working below the frost line. A lot of the work can be done almost year round, so they could be starting as soon as probably March. The completion date, we would be looking at the end of September. Most of the work will be done by the beginning and middle of September, because we will be have this scheduled for our assessments in October. So it can be spring, summer, and fall will be the allowable construction activity period for this.
Okay.
It will be a lot of involvement. We'll have a lot of notifications to the residents and everything as this goes on, because this will be affecting a large area. The construction will be moving around, so even though it can cover, several months of air time, we'll just be doing, area by area through that work, so it won't be a lot of activity in front of any one residence.
Jim, just a couple of quick questions for the meeting record tonight. All the terms that were presented at the neighborhood informational meetings, the terms, the specifications, none of that information has been changed, so that.
Correct, following
So
those,
so what you're describing, what you're presenting tonight, we looked at, reviewed, displayed. And then the second, just second question for the record, roughly, what's the age of the existing system?
so most of the pipe is at that 50 years of age.
Okay.
And with the improvements, it's planned that we get another 50 years
Okay.
of life out of the system. And yes, the information presented at those residential meetings through the completion of the feasibility, all that is consistent with what the plans and specifications are tonight.
Okay, good. Ed, anything else?
Nope.
All right, so we have 2 action items requested tonight, and one is 2 resolutions, one to approve the plans and specs, and one to order advertising for bids. We'll make that 2 separate motions?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll move to adopt the resolution approving plans and specifications for improvement of 2016-2. This is for the southeast area sewer lining.
I'll second that. There's no further discussion. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the motion to approve the plans and specs is approved.
Second, I'll also move to adopt the resolution ordering advertisement for bids for the improvement of 2016-2. This is also for the southeast area sewer lining.
And I'll second that motion. There's no further discussion. Those in favor of that motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes for advertising for bids. Okay, what time is it? 7:22, so let's go back to our public hearings. Item 7B is a public hearing regarding vacation of drainage and utility easements at Wilbur Plastics. Is there a motion to waive the reading of the publication?
So moved.
I'll second. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? This is a town planner item.
This is some cleanup work from 1995. Wilbert Plastics, just kitty corner from the building we're in tonight. Constructed about 100,000 square foot addition out of the building at that time. It was on the west side of the building, original portion of the building right here. When they did that, they had to relocate an existing water line that was right here because it was going to be under part of the new addition. So they went ahead and relocated that as part of the construction project, but we forgot to vacate the easement that was platted over the existing pipeline. And because that's requested to be done, we would establish a new easement over the pipeline right here. So the request is to vacate a small portion of a drainage and utility easement, again, that has a water line under it. That would take the board action, and then a new easement would be established over the relocated water line. So it's a very simple, this is where it was, and this is how they're describing it now, again, with the location of the relocated water line being described by an easement there.
So basically, the resolution then would authorize vacation of the old easement and create a new easement.
That is correct.
Okay. Ed, you have any initial
Nope.
questions? Is there a motion to open the public hearing for comments?
So moved.
I'll second. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Is there anyone here to speak to the issue of that easement and vacation of that easement? Going once, going twice. All right, is there a motion to close the public portion of the hearing?
So moved.
I'll second that. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that motion is approved. Okay, it's 7:24, the
Oh,
next.
wait a minute,
We
I
got,
gotta
still
move
yet.
on this.
Well, actually, the action to adopt the
Right.
did you say it per se?
I'll move to adopt the resolution ordering vacation of a drainage and utility easement. This is for Wilbur Plastics, 4221 Otter Lake Road.
I'll second that motion. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So the motion to adopt the resolution is approved. Okay, next public hearing is at 7:30 at 7:25. So Jim, you want to go on to
Sure.
7F? Is that one good for you? Okay.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, before you tonight is the northeast area water tower repainting. This is the tower that's up east of 61 at the Benson Airport. We did have the bid opening on the 18th. We are very pleased. We had 5 bidders. We had 4 bidders within about $26,000 of each other. The low bidder was TMI Coatings at $920,000. We've gone through all of the bid information. We've contacted TMI, and everything is as presented. This does fall in our budget for the overall project. The work will begin here as soon as the weather starts warming up. We have a completion date of substantial work that would be August 1st, and that means everything is ready for the tower to start getting filled with water again. We'll have to do some testing prior to anything being distributed out to the system, but basically by the end of July, the work will be completed. We've already been working with T-Mobile and Verizon on this schedule and the work with their antenna equipment that's on the tower that will have to be relocated during this activity. They are scheduled to have all their work move in time for our construction project. We'll work with the board regarding the agreement terms with both T-Mobile and Verizon. Overall, everything is looking very well. Very pleased with the bid results that we got on this, and the work would be funded through the water operating fund. We are looking at 3 action items tonight: to receive the bids, to award the contract to TMI for $920,000, and to authorize TKDA for the construction phase of amount of $96,800, and that is a not to exceed. At this point, we will continue to work with T-Mobile, Verizon, and Benson Airport. Actually, today, Public Works was out clearing trees and getting everything ready for the construction area around the tower. So everything is proceeding as scheduled. So our recommendation would be to move forward.
A couple of questions, Jim. I missed it. When would you anticipate the work to start?
The contract says to beginning in April. We've already been talking about how quick things can get set up, but for sure by May you will see the main activity taking place. There's going to be a lot of dealing with T-Mobile and Verizon of getting their stuff down from the tower, placed on temporary stuff next to it. The contractor will be prepping the area, but the main work probably will start in May, where you actually see blasting of the removal of the current paint that's on the tower. You'll notice when activity's going on, because it'll be where you have the big curtain wrapped around the tower to contain all the stuff from being blasted off, and then also during the painting process itself.
Is that when they immediately start draining the tower, or when does the tower get?
I mean, it's a couple weeks of work for taking off the paint, getting everything set up, and applying the multiple coats. There's 3 different coat processes that will take place for to get to the completion, and then you get the the logos. So it's going to be a lot of activity out there for that time period.
Jim, when are we gonna, when are the agreement terms with Verizon and T-Mobile going to be finalized?
We will be discussing that at Friday's executive meeting. Everything's been presented from their end. Now that we have the contractor following tonight's activities, we'll be able to work on the details, since we will have a specific contractor to work with both T-Mobile and Verizon on the specifics of the work and if there's any ways we can further reduce any of those costs.
Okay, so we'll see those schedules and how we're gonna handle the expenses, and et cetera, on Friday.
Correct. And you've already been looking at some of the stuff at the previous
Yeah, the
executive
preliminary
meetings.
estimates and so forth, yeah.
Correct.
If we, assuming we award the contract tonight, if there's any delays, and I don't anticipate any, but if there's any delays with the T-Mobile and Verizon work, is there a problem with delaying the TMI work?
No, we have that as part of our contract documents for the coordination and working with T-Mobile and Verizon on this activity. So awarding it tonight does not put us in any further liability or anything. It just improves our process to get the work going and get all the details squared away.
Okay.
All right, so Jim, will the residents notice any disruption in water supply, water quality, anything?
I will say there will not be any disruption, any changes. I mean, if the intent is to get it back up and running as soon as we can, we get into the, July, August, September, higher uses. We can run the system with this tower down, but we want to get it back up and running so that there is no disruption. But we do not foresee that this is putting the township at any liability or any concerns.
I just wonder, because in summer, obviously, water usage goes up with watering lawns and stuff, so.
Correct. And we have well 5 back in production, so that's a very good redundancy and improvement, again, with the water system itself.
Bill and I were talking about that issue a little bit earlier today, and it might be of value to just quickly review the backups and the capability of the system without the northeast tower during the painting project. So if we could review that on Friday,
Sure.
that might be some interest
A-
to
and-
the board.
And
So Dale's comfortable with exactly what's
Yeah.
going on.
And the township has several wells. I mean, we can be running all of those simultaneously to help deal with any demands that come about. You really are, restricted by weather to do the actual painting, these take weeks and months for a project to be done. So we're trying to get it started as quick as we can so we can get it back online as soon as possible.
I understand that the best time to do the painting is usually when we see the water demand go up for watering, lawn watering and that sort of thing, but like you say, there's no choice there.
Correct.
Okay, all right. Any other questions then?
Just, Jim, you feel comfortable with this all under one motion, or you want these broken separately?
Let's do 3.
Let's separate them
Three of
out,
them?
that'd be
All right.
fine.
All right, I'll move based on Town Engineer and Public Works Director review and recommendations that we receive the bid for the Northeast Water Storage Tower 2017 reconditioning.
I'll second that. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? That motion passes.
Also move to award the contract to the lowest bidder, which is TMI Coatings, Inc., for their base bid of $920,000, noting the substantial completion date is August 1st, 2017.
I'll second. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Last, I'll move to
Motion
authorize
passes.
TKDA to complete the construction phase in the amount not to exceed $1.
I'll make that adjustment.
$96,800.
I'll second that motion with the $96,800 number. Okay, and that's not to exceed. All right, those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Just noting that this funding is coming from the Water Operating Fund.
Good point. Okay, let's go back to our public hearings. It's 7:35, so let's go back to item 7C on the agenda. And that is regarding public hearing for a conditional use permit for CCR truck repair. Operation to be located at 2379 Libel Street. So first, I'll ask for a motion to waive the hearing notice, reading of the hearing notice.
So moved.
I'll second that. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Tom, this is yours.
Yes. All right, 2379 Libel Street. It's a building located up in the Libel Edition Light Industrial Park, property that's zoned I-1 Light Industrial. Proposal is for CCR Truck Repair to purchase the building, and they'd like to relocate their business, which is now in St. Paul, to this particular site. The property, or the building itself, is 17,500 square feet in area. Historically, it's been divided into bays. In the past, been used for truck, trailer manufacturing, and various building contractors. CCR Truck Repair is planning to utilize almost all of the building with their repair services. Truck repair, this would be heavy-duty truck repair, buses, semi-trucks, things of that nature. And again, a repair shop is considered a conditional use in the I-1 zoning district. So the town is reviewing a conditional use permit. If approved, then the CCR would be able to run their operation from the property as is being requested. The building itself, again, was constructed back in 2000. Because of that, it looks like some of the site landscaping, the stormwater treatment pond, all could use some inspections come this spring, and may need a little bit of grading, may need to replace some landscaping materials as part of this project. So that was a staff recommendation to, if adopting a conditional use permit, would be subject to those conditions. Planning Commission reviewed the proposal at their December 22nd meeting and did recommend approval of the conditional use permit, subject to a number of conditions.
Okay, any initial questions, Ed?
Just a couple of comments. It's nice to see a business coming in that's bringing in, what I see, 20 to 22 employees. But they're pretty much guaranteeing that all their work is done inside the building, correct? Because these obviously are some heavy equipment stuff. But the list of conditions are what you've got outlined on page,
66, 67?
I thought I saw another one here. Page 80?
Yeah, page 80.
That's all I had.
Okay. All right, is there a motion to open the public hearing and public comment?
So moved.
I'll second. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Is there anyone here that wishes to speak to the subject?
We came to answer any questions that you may have. My name is Chris Haygood.
If you just come to the mic and introduce yourself and,
My name is Chris Haygood. I'm president of CCR Truck Repair. This is my partner, John Shaw. He's a 40% owner. We're looking, of course, as said, to move our business from St. Paul to here. The property we were at St. Paul was sold, and we were fortunate enough to find this location. I only just today received the first page of today's meeting, so this is all I got this morning when I went in. But I have absolutely no issue with any of these. The only thing that came to question was there was a survey done by the current owner, which is Premier Bank. They did not include the stormwater pond. I apologize, I'm not very familiar with that, but I did email this to Premier Bank today. They spoke with the people that performed the survey. The only thing that they responded was if we could have that defined as to what exactly the city needs. Their statement in an email, which I can forward to Tom, was that it seemed broad to the surveyor and that he didn't know, he wouldn't even know what to charge me or the bank unless it was specified exactly what the city needed to see.
Okay. So Tom, you can review that?
We can review that. It's just a matter of making sure the pond is back to its original constructed condition.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
little
And
survey.
I'm just curious, the document that you have, is that the conditional use permit?
Requirements,
Requirements?
yes.
Yeah, that looks-
Okay,
one
that's
through
this,
11.
that's this page 80?
Yep.
Okay, okay. So we're all looking at the same piece of paper here. Great. If it's an issue, we can always make approval of the use permit contingent upon review of that survey, right, Tom?
Yes.
Okay. All right, any other
Do you
questions?
gentlemen have a record? Or is everything?
Sorry?
Do you gentlemen have a record, or is everything towed to you?
And we have a contractor, Miller Towing, that handles all of our towing for us.
Okay, so there'll be no records sitting on your yard?
No.
Okay.
Everything will be kept inside.
Okay.
We're, of course, looking to grow on this northeast side of town, so we're also in the process of talking with Pat Regan that owns the lots 2 over, because like our building's here, and then it's the First Transit school bus, and then there's 2 other lots. Pat Regan owns those 2 lots. He has expressed that he would either consider renting or possibly down the road selling us a section for over anything that's more than what our building would handle for outdoor parking, which those 2 lots are being used now for outdoor parking.
Okay, so what, your operation right now, your plan is to keep everything inside?
For the most part, like I said, there may be a time, I don't see it in the real near future, but we may have to have one parked out in the lot, just waiting on parts. But according to what I've seen here, it says not to exceed 7 days, which would not be an issue. I may pull it out if I'm allowed to work on something else while I'm waiting on a part to come in. But it shouldn't be an issue.
Okay, all right. All right, if there's no other questions, comments?
No, I did, I wanted to speak with Tom possibly after the meeting about just some signage questions that I had.
He's the guy to talk to.
All right.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, if there's no further questions or comments, is there a motion to close the public portion of the hearing?
So moved.
I'll second it. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Public portion is closed. Any other questions, Ed?
No, I'll move, based on planning commission and staff review and recommendations, that we approve the conditional use permit / zoning certificate and the requirements listed on page 80 for CCR Truck Repair LLC. This is at 2375 Libel Street, White Bear Township.
I will second that with one comment. Here we go. Just to clarify that we have conditional use permit conditions on pages 66 and 67 of the packet. So those are included, right?
Yeah, actually, on page 80 is the zoning certificate, which you would be adopting as part of this proposal,
Okay, all right,
starting on page 76.
I got you.
78.
But the conditional use permit requirements are on 66, 67.
Yeah, those were out of the staff
Okay.
memo.
That's the Libel Street requirements, right?
Right.
Yeah, the liable edition requirements, yeah.
The actual certificate is page 80.
Yep, which I included in my motion.
The zoning certificate, yes, I understand. Okay. All right, I'll second that motion. If there's no further questions, those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes.
I'm sorry, I thought of one more question. For the conditional use, does that need to be in the name of the company that owns the building or of the company doing the work? Because I started a second company, 2379 Libel LLC, will be the owner of the building, and then CCR, my other business, will be renting from.
Could be a question for you,
It
Chad.
should be in the name of the conditional use permit should be in the name of the actual owner of the property.
Okay.
But
Then
that can be
Is
amended.
it possible to amend owner to 2379 Libel LLC
Yes, it is.
As the property owner.
as the property owner?
That'd be fine because it does run with the land. So you could simply amend the zone, amend it to indicate the correct outlay. I noticed they on the permit you had the LLC listed.
Yes, it was recommended, this
Okay.
all came up in the course of a purchase agreement and everything.
Sure.
My attorney and my accountant recommended that we have a second company buy the building, and
Okay, so
The,
do we want to reopen that discussion here?
on page 78, the actual conditional use permit form, you may notice under the underlined conditional use permit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines down, it says CCR Truck Repair LLC. You can change that to,
2379 Libel LLC.
and that should do it.
Okay. Should we keep our skirts clean, Chad? Should we amend what we just approved?
You should.
All right, let's go back to that then.
All right, well, then I would amend my motion to read, based on planning commission staff review and recommendations, approve the conditional use permit / zoning certificate and requirements for 2379 Libel Street LLC.
Okay, and I'll second that. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, any opposed?
Well, welcome
for
all of you to
catching
the
it.
township.
Thank you.
Catching it. Welcome to the township.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Okay, next item on the agenda is 7G. That's regarding lift station number 3, and that's the town engineers project.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, lift station 3 is located on West Bald Eagle Boulevard, north of County Road H2. In your packet shows the lift station, on the layout on the C200. The lift station is just west of the roadway. Part of this project is also reviewing and doing any improvements necessary to the force main. That force main runs west from the lift station and then south down to County Road H2. And then also in your packet is the C400 that shows the existing layout of the lift station. This is where the current situation is a dry wet well system where the pumps previously were in a separate structure. That will be abandoned through this project, and we will put the pumps in the actual wet well structure that will then be upgraded, and a valve vault will be added to the site. So this is a big improvement to the site, as Public Works has gone through and reviewed this. The current situation, you get into a lot of confined space entry for doing any of the maintenance work or access, because you have to go down in the structure. With the new setup, the pumps and everything are put on rails, so we are able to pull those up to the surface and do the work that way. So a much improved setup, less maintenance work and activity with this. The control panel, everything will be replaced to match our new SCADA system and up and running. We also, through our executive meetings, we are adding a stationary generator on this site. This site has our most failures with power out there, a lot of lines running through wooded areas. So the improvements to the lift station, the addition of the generator, and improvements to the parking area will all be part of this project. The bid opening will be also on February 15th. This one will be actually at 10:30. We would then bring those bid results back to the February 22nd town board. The actions will be threefold tonight. Approve the plans and specifications, order the advertisement for bids, and then also to authorize TKDA for the generator work and the bidding process of an amount not to exceed $4,400. This work is all scheduled to be completed by the end of August of this year.
Is this all out of the sewer fund?
And this is all out of the sewer fund, correct? And it's part of our schedule of going through our lift station improvements, and it's all been budgeted in our CIP.
Didn't we have a issue down there with actual property
eas-
lines or easements or
Yes,
setbacks or something? I don't.
Yes, you are correct. That's why this process has been slow in getting through. We did have to go through with the attorney to get the documents to show we do have the necessary easements out there to perform the work. So there was a lot of research done to make sure that we had what was required for us to do
So
the
the
work.
easement
So
description is good.
we
don't
did
have to
find.
amend it or purchase
Correct,
any
yep, we
additional-
don't have to do any changes.
All right.
And we have what we need to do the work, and it covers the lift station and our force main, all the work.
Okay. So we're looking at a project that's gonna reduce our maintenance expenses, we're gonna improve safety, to work on that equipment. Now, is there gonna be an empty vault left?
With
What
the,
happens to
with
that?
the drywall structure, as we've done with lift station 1, we remove the top portion of that structure. We poke holes in the bottom and we fill it with sand.
Okay.
So we don't remove everything just because of the
We're not
depth
leaving-
and the work.
We're not leaving a.
But we're not leaving a cavity or anything out there.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, Ed?
Nope.
So
So you want
we-
these three separate actions, Jim?
Yes.
All right, I'll move based on town engineer and public work director review and recommendations that we approve the plans and specifications, including the generator for lift station number 3.
I'll second that. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes.
Second, I'll move to authorize the advertisement for bids, noting the bid opening date is Wednesday, February 15th, 2017 at 10:30 a.m. Is that at the township building, at the township office?
I'll second that motion. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes.
And lastly, I move to authorize TKDA to perform the bidding and award process for an amount not to exceed $1. Am I gonna get one of those by?
At some point.
All right, we'll make it $4,400.
I'll second that. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is 7H, and that's regarding Birchwood Joint Powers Agreement.
All right, that is specifically regarding services that the city of Birchwood Village is interested in contracting from the township, and it's to provide standby water service repair. Basically, the city of Birchwood Village has an independent contractor that performs the emergency and routine repairs to the water system, and that contractor persuaded the Birchwood City Council to contract with the township to provide backup for him. So that particular contractor is not always available, and if he's not, then if the town board enters into a joint powers agreement to provide that service to the Birchwood Village. Now, on December 15th of last year, the town board approved this joint powers agreement. And the motion itself basically stated approving the joint powers agreement for standby water system supervision and authorize execution by the chair and town clerk with addendum to indemnify and hold harmless language in the agreement. So at that time it didn't, but it was authorized by the town board to add that. The agreement that's in front of you today does have that in it, as well as some minor language changes that were approved by the city of Birchwood Village after the town board approved that joint powers agreement. So,
And all that language, the changes, the new language has been reviewed by the town attorney.
Yes, it has been.
It's acceptable.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So, Bill, we have a way of looping our water supply into theirs?
yes, we have an emergency connection with them. Their water is provided by the city of White Bear Lake,
Yeah.
and we have emergency interconnect if we should ever need it.
Where's that located?
South Shore and East County Line?
I can't recall what the cross street is, but yes.
Okay,
That's,
that's all I got.
it's been there for a while. Okay, any other, I have no questions. You have anything else, Ed?
Nope.
So we're looking for one action item here then.
I'll move based on staff and town attorney review and recommendations, approve the joint powers agreement for standby water services and authorize execution by the town board chair and the town clerk.
I'll second that motion. There's no discussion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes. Item 7I on the agenda is regarding a BCA joint powers agreement and a court data services subscriber amendment.
That's correct. That's information that's provided to our prosecutors through the state. And 5 years ago, the state requested or required that the town enter into an agreement with them to provide that service. And that was approved by the town board 2011. That was November 21st, 2011. That's expired, and now our recommendation to the town board is to proceed with adopting that joint powers agreement for another 5 years, as well as an amendment referred to as the Court Data Services Subscriber Amendment. That was a separate step that was approved by the town board on April 15th of 2013. Things are basically the same as they were before. Our prosecutor, Caroline Bell Beckman, has recommended that the town board proceed with this just as we did 5 years ago.
Okay, and that new language, Chad, have you reviewed that?
Yes, I have.
Okay, it's acceptable?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So then we have 4 action items on this agenda item.
Yep.
Ed, did you have any questions?
Nope. I'll move based on staff and town attorney's review and recommendations. First, we approve the State of Minnesota Joint Powers Agreement authorizing the agency for a period of 5 years from the date of all required signatures.
I'll second that motion. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Second, I'll move to approve the Court Data Services Subscriber Amendment to the CJDN Subscriber Agreement.
I'll second that. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Third, I'll move to authorize execution of both agreements by the town board chair and the town clerk.
I'll second that motion. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
And the fourth item is I'll move to adopt the resolution approving the State of Minnesota Joint Powers Agreement with the town of White Bear on behalf of its prosecuting attorney.
I'll second that motion. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes. Okay, we have one added agenda item, and that's regarding a band performance approval for the Township Day.
That is correct. Park Board met last Thursday, starting discussions on Township Day event for September 9th of this year. And the one recommendation they made the other night was to contract with the group Maiden Dixie to be the headliner band at this year's event.
Oh, they're gonna be the headliner band. Okay. Okay. Ed, questions, comments?
Nope.
Okay,
So you just need a motion to approve Township Day band headliner as Mason, what is it, Mason Dixon?
Maiden Dixie, yep.
Maiden Dixie Band.
For the September 9th Township Days.
And this was recommended by the Park Board.
Correct.
Okay, oh, and we also want to authorize execution of the contract by board chair.
Yes.
Okay, I'll second that motion. Any further questions? Those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes. Okay, item 10 is open time. I see nobody here for open time. Comments? Item 11 is a motion to receive agenda materials and supplements.
So moved.
I'll second that. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Item 12 is adjournment. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second that. We're adjourned.